Hey, you guys, I wanted to send just a real quick video as opposed to trying to type all of this out. So I'll try to get this over with in a few minutes to just give you a little bit of advice on writing a literary analysis for this class. So you have an example in the module literary analysis, and you have an essay I wrote for the first year writing textbook on how to do that. So at this level, I'll leave that up to you to sort of read and go over the examples. And I just want to talk about three main things that negatively affect a lot of lit survey students in their literary analysis essays. The first one is the use of sources. Okay, so ideally you would have no other sources other than the primary text, which is the essay you're writing about, whether that's Douglas or Aquino or whoever it is, or Wollstonecraft. What I want is your analysis of the primary text, not your ability to go summarize somebody else's analysis of the primary text. And it might feel safer and easier to do that, but that's a big downfall for students. And here's one of the reasons. They go to websites that don't count as academic sources, websites that are basically cheat websites for students who don't want to do the reading, like gradesaver.com and I forget the names of the other ones, but any site that summarizes and offers a brief summary and a brief analysis or a character analysis or whatever, those are sites you need to avoid entirely. They're not acceptable for academic writing, okay? They're like the Cliff's Notes version of like 21st century student cheating. So don't do that, okay? If you do decide to use a secondary source, I highly recommend, almost demand, that you go through the library in Galileo and find academic sources written by experts and peer-reviewed. You're making a lot more work for yourself than you have to in doing so, but I'll leave that up to you. And make sure that if you use another source, whether it's for their ideas or you paraphrase them, make sure that you cite them and give proper attribution in MLA format. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was avoiding plagiarism. Now this is connected to using those secondary sources. Where students plagiarize is they don't trust their own analysis of what they've read, and so they look for other people. And they're hesitant, other people to summarize and analyze the text that they're responding to, and they are hesitant to quote and cite somebody else, and so they fail to do so, and that is plagiarism. So you know what plagiarism is. You can't use anybody else's words and or ideas and pretend that they are your own without giving them proper source attribution. So if you are using another source, quote them and cite them, and don't try to sort of fudge it into your own language. That's a surefire way to get in trouble. And then the third thing, and this is the most common comment I have on all literary analysis essays that fall below like the A grade level, is to be specific. So your job is to, whoever you're writing about, whatever text you're writing about, whatever aspect of whatever text you're writing about, your job is to prove your claims about that text with specific references and evidence from the text. So if you're trying to say, for example, that Wollstonecraft is arguing for the equality in gender roles and women's rights, okay, fair enough. But you can't just claim that she's doing so. You need to go find the specific place in the rights of women, quote it so that it supports and proves your claim, and then cite it. And you need to do that throughout your essay. So you're always sticking as close as possible to the text. Again, if you're trying to say that Aquino or Ghalib is discussing the need for revolution to overthrow tyrannical or oppressive regimes, great. That's wonderful. But you have to prove to me that that's what they are arguing for. And you do that by going into the text, finding the quotes that perfectly or as perfectly as possible support your claims about them, and quoting and citing. So, one, if you're going to use sources, use good ones and attribute that information. Two, don't plagiarize. And three, work as specifically with the text as you possibly can. And those are the three main pieces of advice I have for you in writing your literary analyses. Good luck. I look forward to reading what you come up with. And if you have questions as you're going through this week, feel free to shoot me an email, and I will try to be as responsive and helpful as I can. All right, take care, everybody. If I can figure out how to turn this off.